Alright, hello guys. In my last video, I explained to us how we can make our first contribution to the Kwickerhub project, our first open source contribution. The next video I'm about to do now will explain how you can get the backend section, the backend repository, and clone it after you have definitely prepared the areas you want to comment on or contribute on. So this is the Kwickerhub project. I'm using this as a case study, and we'll go straight to the backend section. The first thing we want to do uh, is to click the fork button here to fork the project. So I've already done that and I've created mine. If you click here, you can see mine here, have it in another tab. Immediately you do that, the next thing we want to do is to clone the project. So I'll go straight to my VS Code, and in the directory called Kwickerhub, yeah, in the same directory where we have the front end develop, that's the front end repository, we're just going to use our commands here on the terminal. So I'll do the code right now. So git clone. Alright, that's it, and we have all our commands here. Next thing we want to do is to check the remote area of the git instructions. So we want to say remote. Yeah, fatal error is common. If we have the fatal error, it simply means that we are not in the right directory. So we just use the cd command to move into backend. Alright, so we have the origin and we want to add our upstream now, and then I'll explain how the entire backend code works, and then we do the setup. That will just be the end of the video. So let's go straight to that by adding the upstream. Alright, so we have added our upstream and we already have our origin there. Now the origin is the project unique to us, and the upstream is the Kwickerhub environment. That's the Kwickerhub backend section. So I'll explain some things here. Now we see a whole lot of folders here and files. Now I want to say the next thing you want to do is come over here to the setup. Now if you open the setup, you see a SQL file. This SQL file is the setup for the database, how the database is supposed to look like. Now there are modern technologies, as I earlier explained in some of my videos. There are stuffs like Docker, and there are visual environments and DigitalOcean. I believe that in subsequent time most of these technologies will be added to this project. Most of the things done right now are very manual. So what we have to do is to make sure we have a local host on our PC. Now a local host is just an app that makes your local PC look like a server, so we just call it local host. So on Windows you need your WAM. If you're using a Linux distribution, you should install XAMPP or any other local host that you can lay your hands on. If you have done that, we need MySQL. This project is based on PHP and MySQL. So I'm going to use an app called PHP which kind of links up MySQL with PHP, so that we can see exactly what is happening. We can have a visual picture of what is happening. If you don't have all these setups, there are a lot of videos on YouTube explaining all of this concept about how to set up your local host and all of that. And I believe by trying to contribute to this, you should already have an idea about this. So the name of our database, the general database, is accessdb. I'll go over to my php and I'll create a new database, and I'll call it the name I just saw here, accessdb. Alright, that's it. So I just create it. Now after I've created it, I want to import the content from that particular area. So from my folder from the setup section. I want to import the file I opened some seconds ago from VS Code. Alright, so backend and setup. My setup. Alright, this is it. Alright, so we open it. Immediately we open it, we say go, so that we'll get this database to look exactly the way they want it to. Let's just give it some time. uh yeah, please, let's just give it some time. It's a lot. Yeah, I think it's done now. Yep. All right, so we can see all the tables here, all the test clients that we can use, all the attributes, the assistant panel, the elements therein, the projects, some test projects, the icons, and some other things. So now if we come over here, uh, we can actually see that there will be a lot of changes. Okay, we have some warnings here. It means that our local host is working, and at least we can now connect to our backend. So let's see how we can correct some of these things. Okay, so we need a file called db details. Now the file called db details is to contain most of the instructions of how we'll connect to our database. Now in the folder called Kwickerhub, we have two repositories, like in the online project. We have the first repository, the back end, and the second one, the front end. In this repository, we want to, in this folder, we want to create the name of a file called localhost details. So that will contain the details of your local machine. So we say local.php, and then I already have that set up in some of my projects, so I'll just do a little trick here. I'll just open the other project I have to show you the clear details of my DB. Now this file here called localhost DB details into the name of the data and the user. I already have it as open source project, so as not to waste your time. A clear copy of how everything will look like. And this file, or better still, I can so that people can my new project and some other things. So and all right, so if this connection clicks, then we believe that everything is good. If it doesn't, we'll get some errors, and then we can still fix our local or our database structures. All right, I think it's loading, and all right, let's see how that plays out. All right, I think so, that's it. At this point, if you click the more here, you can see a whole lot of elements here. It means we have successfully implemented and added our backend project to our main front end section. So now the two projects, the two repos, the backend and front end, are now good to go here. We can contribute to two of them separately and enjoy the process. Thank you.